enabled it. And, sir,
the false
you
statement,
should resign.
And, sir, you should resign. I was thinking the same thing about you.
Should resign.
I was thinking the exact same thing about you.
Senator Josh Hawley just sat across from Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison and accused him of meeting with fraudsters, pledging to help them, and taking $10,000 in campaign money 9 days later. All of it caught on tape. 54 minutes, every single word. Let's watch what happens when you corner someone with their own recording.
You're not going to answer my questions? Are we going to start this way? Are you the Attorney General of the state of Minnesota, yes or no?
You know the answer.
Mr. Ellison, you're in my courtroom now. You're under oath. So I suggest that you answer my questions. You the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the state of Minnesota, yes or no? Let's try another question. Are you familiar with the $9 billion in historic fraud out of your state, including the $250 million in the Feeding Our Future program alone? You familiar with that? Don't turn to the pages in your book to get your potted answers. Are you familiar with it? Yes or no?
Yes, I am familiar with it.
Very familiar, aren't you? Because the people who ran the Feeding Our Futures program came to you in your official office in the state capitol December 11th, 2021, and asked for your help in getting investigators off their backs. They complained to you for upwards of an hour about state investigators going after them, and they begged you to help them, and you agreed to it, amazingly. And we know you did.
That's not
because
true.
It's all caught on tape.
Yeah,
every single sentence is caught on tape. Here's what you said. Let's take a look. You said, it's not a question. You said to them, send me the names of all these folks who are investigating them. You said to them, send me their names. And I'll take that list, and I'll call the person over at Education who is investigating them and say, what's going on? Why am I getting these complaints? Then he went on to say, I already have my team working on this. What day should we get together to discuss it again? You made pledge after pledge to them. You said, we've got to make sure this guy who's investigating them stops it. You said, you have my attention. I'm concerned about this. You said, let's go fight these people, meaning the people who were investigating the fraud. Why'd you do it? Why'd you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Please, we're all ears.
So first of all, you're cherry picking quotes out of there.
Why did you help them?
I thought you were going to let me answer.
Why did you help them?
Are you going to let me answer?
Why did you help
You
them?
let me answer and I'll answer you.
Tell the truth and I'll let you answer.
I will tell the truth.
Good.
Let's do that.
That'd be a nice change. Why'd you help them?
Now see, Mr. Chairman, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here voluntarily.
You came here for the truth. Let's have it. Why did you help them? The quotes are here. They're in black and white, and every member of this audience can listen to the recording. It's 54 minutes long. It's all in public. You can Google it right now and listen to it.
And listen to it all.
Why'd you help them?
First of all, I didn't help them.
You did help them.
No, I did not. I certainly didn't.
You're saying you didn't do anything for them. You didn't.
Well, wait a minute.
I already have my team working on this again. That's not you?
I have my team assisted with the information that led to the prosecution and conviction of these people.
No, you didn't. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them. No, you did not. You didn't lift a finger to prosecute them.
Federal prosecution.
You had, BS. You had whistleblowers come to you as early as 2019.
You're the one talking BS.
Hey, listen, it's my time.
Doesn't know what you're talking about, sir.
No, sir. You now have encountered the truth and you don't like it. Why'd you take their money? Why'd you take their money?
I didn't.
You took $10,000.
No, that's a false statement.
$10,000 9 days after the meeting.
False statement.
You took $10,000. Here's what happened. They went to your office.
They
solicited money from you. They solicited help from you.
That's also wrong.
They came to your office. It was your official office. You met with them for 54 minutes.
No, they didn't.
They asked you for help. You pledged it to them, and they talked repeatedly about money. In fact, it's all they talked about.
That's a lie.
Money, 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 money. They said, we will put our dollars in the right place. We will support candidates that will fight to protect our interests. You replied, that's right. They said, if you are secure in your donor base and secure in your power base, you can act the way you want. You replied, money is freedom. They said the amount of money circulating, I'm reading the transcript, the amount of money circulating in our community today is powerful, and we haven't realizing it in a meaningful way. And you said, give me the specifics. And 9 days later, you took $10,000 from people who were then indicted. It's in your reports. Why'd you do it?
Sir,
was it worth it?
You know what? This is a theatrical performance.
10,000. This is the truth.
It
This is
has
what
nothing
accountability
to do-
looks like, of which you've had none.
No,
you helped fraudsters defraud your state and this government of $9 billion, and you got a fat campaign contribution out of it. You ought to be indicted.
True. Well,
that's the truth.
I think we've made the point. Let's keep the tenor just
for
a
the
little more
record,
calm.
Oh, I'll ask how I want to,
he's
Senator
lying,
Paul.
and that's the truth.
Oh, no, this is all on the record,
no, sir.
Did you bother to... Did you bother to investigate where the money that you facilitated their fraud for, where it went? Do you know where it went, what it was used for, the fraudulent money? I do, because we just heard testimony about it yesterday.
Because we
the
were
funds
key
went
players in the
hundreds of millions of dollars to terrorist groups, to transnational criminal organizations, to the drug trade, to drug trafficking, to child trafficking. And you took $10,000
That's a lie.
and helped them do it. You know, the other thing is, whistleblowers came to you as early as 2019. Let's look. As early as 2019, whistleblowers. Don't talk over me. As early as 2019, it's my hearing, pal. As early as 2019.
Don't call me
whistleblowers came to, well, I should call you prisoner because you ought to be in jail.
Well, we'll see what you can do about it.
In 2019, whistleblowers came to you in your office and referred to you fraud allegations from Feeding Our Futures, and you blew them off. Listen, your own state newspaper investigated it. The Minnesota Star-Tribune, the Partners in Nutrition, brought its concerns to the Attorney General's office in 2018 and in 2019, and you did nothing. You did nothing for years. The only action you took is, once all these fraudsters came to your office and asked you to get involved and offered you money, then you got involved. Then you took the money, and then you got involved.
They did not come to my office. You're completely wrong about that.
You met with them for 54 minutes, and you took $10,000, and they also gave your family money. They gave your family thousands of dollars in campaign contributions in addition to what they gave you.
This is a false statement.
Let's put
this is completely untrue.
The New York Post.
Yeah, we know the New York Post.
Minnesota Keith Ellison, AG, accepted campaign donations from individuals linked to the $250 million COVID fraud scheme after they were in your office. The donations came on December 20th.
Sir,
you met with them on December the 11th, and on January 20th, the FBI knocked over their headquarters.
No.
That's the sequence of events here.
No, it's not.
You've been right at the center of this fraud thing from the beginning, and you've enabled it. And, sir, you should resign.
And, sir, you should resign. I was thinking the same thing about you.
You should resign.
I was thinking the exact same thing about you.
I'm sure after encountering this truth, you are. Because it hurts to have accountability, doesn't it?
Because after this parade of lies and presentation, I think you should be ashamed for misrepresentation.
Time has expired. Senator Moreno.
Okay, let's talk about what just happened, because this wasn't just a heated exchange. This was a man getting cornered by his own words, on tape, in front of Congress. And instead of answering a single question, he chose to fight back with deflection, interruption, and the oldest trick in the book, calling it theater. Let's start with the tape. Senator Hawley didn't walk in with opinions. He walked in with a 54-minute recording. A recording where Keith Ellison, the chief law enforcement officer of the state of Minnesota, sat in his official office and made pledge after pledge to people who were actively being investigated for fraud. He said, "Send me the names of the investigators." He said he already had his team working on it. He said, "Let's go fight these people." These are not ambiguous statements. These are not cherry-picked quotes taken out of context. This is a law enforcement officer promising to use his office to protect people under investigation. And that recording is public. You can Google it right now. Anyone can listen to it. Now let's talk about the money. 9 days after that meeting, 9 days, Keith Ellison accepted $10,000 in campaign contributions from the same people who sat in his office and talked about money for 54 minutes. The transcript is explicit. They said, "We will put our dollars in the right place." They said, "If you secure your power base, you can act the way you want." And Ellison's response? Money is freedom. 9 days later, the check cleared. And 6 weeks after that, the FBI knocked down their door. That is not a coincidence. That is a sequence of events. Then there's the whistleblowers. This is the part that gets buried in all the shouting, but it might be the most damning. Whistleblowers came to Ellison's office as early as 2018 and 2019, years before this scandal exploded, and flagged the fraud at Feeding Our Future. His own state newspaper, the Minnesota Star-Tribune, reported that Partners in Nutrition brought its concerns directly to the Attorney General's office. And what did he do? Nothing. For years, nothing. But the moment the fraudsters themselves walked into his office, asked for help, and talked about money, suddenly he had his whole team working on it. Let that sink in. The people reporting the crime got ignored. The people committing the crime got a meeting, a pledge of help, and a campaign check. And the scale of this fraud matters. We are not talking about a minor financial crime. We are talking about $9 billion, with a B, in historic fraud out of the state of Minnesota. $250 billion from the Feeding Our Future program alone, a program designed to feed children during the pandemic. And according to testimony heard by this committee, that fraudulent money didn't just disappear. It went to terrorist groups, to transnational criminal organizations, to drug trafficking, to child trafficking. This wasn't a paperwork error. This was organized crime at a massive scale. And the chief law enforcement officer of Minnesota was in a room with the people running it, promising to help them and cashing their checks. Now, Ellison's defense. He said Hawley was cherry-picking quotes. He said the money was a false statement. He said they didn't come to his office. He said his team helped with the prosecution. But here's the problem with every single one of those defenses. The tape exists. The transcript exists. The donation records exist. The FBI timeline exists. You cannot call something a false statement when there is a 54-minute recording of it happening. And the moment that said everything, when Hawley told him he should resign, Ellison fired back, "I was thinking the same thing about you." That's not a defense. That's a deflection dressed up as confidence. When you have no answer to the substance of what's being asked, you attack the person asking. That's exactly what happened here. The Attorney General of Minnesota sat in a Senate hearing under oath with a 54-minute tape of his own voice playing in the background and chose to argue about tone instead of answering why he took $10,000 from people who were later indicted. Hawley said it at the end, "It hurts to have accountability," and judging by everything we just watched, he was right.